Okay, so let's get into it. We're doing a deep dive today into the 2025 season of Team dgputt. And when we say this is a global team, we're not kidding. This roster is, it's a genuine mix. You've got top pros from Norway, Canada, and then these crucial community organizers all the way in South Carolina.
Right. And what's so clear from the sources is that this team's success isn't just about, scorecards and birdies.
Yeah.
We're looking at big rating jumps, sure, major titles, absolutely. But the real story here is the synergy. It's this link between elite performance
Right.
and the grassroots foundation, the volunteers, the organizers, and even the app developers themselves.
That's the mission today. We're going to track these two parallel stories. You've got the touring pros grabbing headlines, and then you have the grassroots engines who are literally growing the sport across the globe.
Celebrating the 1,000 rated rounds and at the same time the directors who make those events possible in the first place.
Exactly. So let's start at the top. The global headliners, the players who really just exploded in 2025.
And you have to start that conversation with Ida Emily Ness.
Oh, absolutely. Her 2025 season was just... It was a story of pure explosive growth. She's only 17.
17. And that's what's so wild. She didn't just have a good junior year. She made this massive leap into a legitimate FPO star in Europe,
She retained her Norwegian FPO champion title, which is already a big deal.
making her a two-time champ, yeah. But then she just completely ran the table in the junior field, taking the European FJ18 championship.
And that social media post, I freaking did it, that just says it all, right? The emotion, the peak of her junior career right there.
It was perfect. But, the real test, the real statement came when she stepped up to the pro level.
Finishing 11th at your very first PDGA Pro Worlds in Finland. I mean, that's jaw-dropping for a player her age. It just screams elite potential.
And it wasn't a fluke. That potential showed up all season on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Her consistency was incredible.
Yeah, let's run through them. Multiple top tens.
Right. 6th at the Curacao Open, 6th at the Ale Open, 9th at PCS, 5th at Turco. But the big one for me was her debut at Canopy-Shea.
A legendary European course. A huge test.
And she finished 4th. 4th.
Yeah.
That result tells you she's not just a rising star, she's already here, ready to challenge the best.
That's the high watermark for the team this season, for sure.
Absolutely. Now let's jump across the Atlantic. Let's talk about a player whose success really highlights the power of a strong regional tour. Julien Quenneville in Canada.
Julien is such a great example of just steady, focused progress. He spent his year tearing up the circuit disc golf.
10 pro events, almost $1,900 in earnings, which is solid for a regional tour.
He got that B-tier win at Le Duc de Rouville, but the stat that really defines his season for me is the rating.
Yeah, oh yeah, the rating jump.
He climbed from a really strong 980 all the way up to 998.
He is knocking on the door of that 1,000 rated club. As he said on his Instagram, it was a year of progress. That's an understatement.
So here's the question. If he's hitting 998, playing mostly on a regional circuit, what does that say about the level of play there? And what could he do with a full season on the DGPT?
It's a great question. It means he's got the goods, The consistency is there, the rating is proven. Now it's about taking that show on the road. The potential is massive.
Speaking of big leaps, we can't ignore the guy who literally won an award for it, Rink Can, DGPT's most improved player.
I mean, that's a huge institutional stamp of approval. And the numbers are just ridiculous.
His average round rating jumped by over 20 points.
Plus 20.3, yeah. And he climbed 426 spots in the world rankings. He's at 997 now. This wasn't just a good streak. This was a complete methodological reinvention of his game.
And he's a 3-time Dutch champion, and he broke the Dutch distance record with a massive forehand.
You see that. He's got the power with the distance record and the scoring consistency with the rating jump. That is like the definition of a breakout year.
Totally. And then you've got Anton Lind over in Sweden, who is just excelling in, well, everything to do with flying discs.
Multifaceted is the perfect way to put it. He won 2 stops on a regional tour, showing he can compete in standard disc golf.
But he also won the World Overall Flying Disc Championships, the WOC.
Which is just a different level of athleticism. It proves he's a top-tier disc athlete, period, not just a disc golfer.
And he had that one personal moment that every player dreams of.
The unicorn moment. Acing 2 holes in one day.
He called it the craziest thing in his 19-year career. I mean, can you imagine? Those are the stories that stick with you.
For sure. And we should give a quick nod to Liam Michael in France. he quietly climbed to a career-high 981 rating.
And he threw a 995 rated round to win a regional event. So you can just see, from the Nordics to France, Team dgputt was just surging across Europe.
Exactly. So those are the headliners pushing the limits. But like we said at the top, that success is only possible because of the foundation.
Right. We need to talk about the core competitors, the veterans who anchor the national scenes, and just as importantly, do the organizing.
This is where that athlete/organizer synergy really comes into focus.
Take Jørgen Madslien in Norway. He's putting up great results. Third place at a Norges Cup event, got almost $1,000. 10th at the Norwegian Championships.
Those are serious pro results. He is a consistent performer, but the sources also show he directed a PDGA C-tier event.
Right. Vorspretten 2025. He's not just playing, he's actively building the competitive structure for the next wave of players.
And you see that exact same theme with Stein Edegaard, the veteran MP40 player from Bergen.
His results are solid 6th in Masters at the Norwegian Champs, but his real value is as an institution in his local scene.
He's that dedicated veteran, the guy who's always there supporting regional events, passing on knowledge. Every scene needs a Stein Edegaard.
But the absolute peak of this dual role has to be Marit Sæther.
Oh, 100%. She dominated locally. She was named the FPO Series champion for her local club, Sørnedal IL Disc Golf,
Including a win at the Nordmørstor Skolestop. So clearly a top local competitor.
And yet at the same time, she was the tournament director for multiple events. She's not just trying to win the tournament, she's making sure the tournament itself even exists. You can't overstate how important that is.
It's crucial. And, we should also mention Liv Aspen, who's rounding out that strong Norwegian Masters presence for the team.
And all of that work, all that organizing, it leads us right into the future. The pipeline of junior and amateur talent that this team is fostering.
I love this part. This is where you look for the next Ida Ness. We have to start with Veda Forsberg, the Swedish junior who they call the ace maker.
The kid's got swagger. He's already signed up for the PDGA Junior World, so the ambition is global.
And his potential is just off the charts. He threw a 992 rated round to win a tournament.
As a junior. That's an elite level round from a kid. The fact that he's known for making aces is just, the cherry on top.
Then there's Marley Malm, another 16-year-old from Sweden. He's a diehard Rangers fan, which is a fun detail.
Yeah. But more importantly, he's already getting on the podium at big amateur events. Third place at an SDGPT stop. He's learning how to win now.
And we should shout out Kjarl Wig Nebo, the Norwegian amateur who's also an aircraft pilot.
A job that probably requires a bit of focus and precision, right?
You'd think so. He grabbed a third-place finish in MA3. It just shows the depth is growing.
And that depth includes a whole bench of young Norwegian talent like Benjamin Gulliksen and Jesper Hegland. These are the kids who keep the local clubs vibrant.
Okay, so that brings us to what I think is the most unique part of Team dgputt.
The grassroots engines, the innovators. The people who aren't just playing the game, but are literally building the tools to make everyone better.
And you have to start with the app developers themselves, Erland Johnson and Alol Svendal. Erland is the definition of a player innovator.
And a really good player, too. He won his club championship for the second year in a row and won an overall series title.
So he's winning tournaments while also creating the dgputt app, the very training tool that's probably helping his teammates see these huge rating jumps.
While Adel Svandal, as co-founder, is making sure the tech side runs smoothly, it's like they're optimizing their own team's success from the inside out.
Now let's just slow down for a second and talk about the human interest story here. Brian Pittman, the disc golfing dad from Missouri.
What a story. He's a disabled veteran, an amateur player, but his motivation this year was something else entirely.
Yeah. He entered this big public competition, the Face of Halloween 2025, and made it to the final 15.
And his goal wasn't for himself. He was trying to win the money to pay for his son's college fund and his disc golf career. That's incredible dedication.
And he's also an active organizer in his local scene, which is a perfect parallel to Steven Scoggins down in South Carolina.
Steven is a great example of that transition from player to administrator. He was assistant TD for a weekly league and then joined the club's board of directors.
That is the hard, often thankless work that makes a local scene professional.
And you see it again in Finland with Janos Pekkanen. He split his season right down the middle, played 19 events, but also served as a tournament director for his C tier.
Player, director, fan, he's doing it all.
And finally, we have to mention the community connectors. People like Kurt Conrad, a TD out of Iowa.
And Michelle Voigt, or Shell, in Germany, A player who is also organizing a big charity event.
Right. It just shows that the team's impact goes beyond competition. It's about community building on a global scale.
So when you put it all together, from Ida's world-class finishes to Shell's charity work, what's the big takeaway from their 2025 season?
I think it's that Team dgputt's success was fundamentally decentralized. It
Yeah.
wasn't just about one or two stars.
Right, the team didn't just measure itself in ratings points. It measured itself by the strength of its entire network.
All those big wins and rating surges we talked about, they're built on the backs of organizers like Marit, Steven, and Janos. They're the ones growing the sports capacity in Norway, in Quebec, in the U.S.
It's an ecosystem. The 998 rated pro in Quebec can only get that rating because local leaders are running the sanctioned events he needs to play in.
And that's the lesson here. Modern disc golf at the highest level needs both things: elite athletes and a dedicated, powerful grassroots administration.
It's a fascinating model. And that leads us to one final provocative thought for you to chew on.
We've established that the team members use the dgputt app, and that the app's creators, Erland and Adel, are on the team themselves.
So you have to ask yourself, how much of this global success, ranks massive rating jump, Julian getting to 998, a junior contender like Vita Forsberg, how much of that is now directly enabled by the practice tools being built by their own teammates?
Is modern team success more about the plastic you throw, or is it about the proprietary technology you share? It completely changes what team sponsorship could mean in the future.
A very high-tech question to think about in the off-season. That wraps our deep dive on Team dgputt's amazing 2025. We'll see you next time.